Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have some stuff to talk about, which is great. So there's 9 listings today. There's a couple good ones and some interesting things too. Things we don't see every day. Let's talk about them. Now, we get people that ask us, hey, do you stage? Yes. The answer is yes to that, of course. We've got 2 storage units full of stuff. It's a big part of what we do is our smart staging program. Now, every once in a while, I'll go in a house and I'll see something. I'll think, man, it's almost like you're trying too hard. So I saw that with this one on Ontario, and I don't mean to take anything away from it because I think photos, presentation, everything looks good here. But I think if you have more than 2 or 3 fake flowers, you're trying too hard. If you have too many light pieces of furniture that look like they weigh less than 10 pounds, you're trying too hard. So there's these small pieces kind of don't work for me. So there's almost like an over accessorizing. I look at the things on the counter, I think, man, that's a lot. There's a plant or flowers in front of a mirror. I don't know if that sits well with me. Anyway, so you go through the house and you start seeing, if your flowers match your wall color too much, I think you're trying too hard. But I think it gives a good impression. When you see rooms that probably should be bedrooms that have just weird makeup tables and don't look like they're used for anything, you're trying too hard. I've also seen close-up where I've seen there's actual barcodes on the furniture. There was one I was in last week and it had a big sign. It says proudly staged by, and it gave the stager's name. That's not okay because I think the purpose of it is not to look fake. You're not a furniture showroom. You are trying to create a vibe and a feeling so that people want to move in and they want to fall in love with it. And I know the staging fails when somebody comes in that I'm working with, a buyer, and they say, this place is staged. If you do that, you got it wrong. So anyway, even a flower thing like that, I just don't know if, do people live like that? I don't think so. And then to contrast that, you've got a big hole in the ceiling where this light is with the cracked ceiling panels. So I think the other thing with staging is you can tell a home's been staged when things are not consistent across the board. When you have some rough spots, or you've got a crooked backsplash, but you've got this nice furniture in there. It's not congruent. It's kind of offline. So I'm using this home as an example. Typically, outdoor carpets that have any white in them are probably staged because it's just something where most people would say, well, I'm going to get that dirty, so I probably won't do that. But if you look past some of these things, which, is it better just to leave it empty? I actually think there's a lot of upgrades in here. $475, there's a lot of these that are glass ceiling at $450. They were more than 5. They started selling even as low as high 3s to $425 or so. Coming back a little bit, but $475 to me seems a little bit steep, but it does have good finishes despite everything I talked about. It's a good home. A little tough on the price, but there's a lot of people. I have friends in Toronto right now that are saying, look, we're starting to see things happen where homes are selling more than asking. You're starting to see that again because inventory, that big problem we had with inventory, is gone. Pretty much gone. We're back down to low inventory. Buyer sales or purchases are still low, but like I said yesterday, I didn't shoot a video, but there were 4 new listings and there were 8 sales. So I think we're heading into a fall where it's not going to be as crazy as last time, but it's going to get a little more intense. So Milton Brook, 2 points about it. The first one is you've got a nice 128-foot lot. That's deeper than Old Milton. So that's good. I like that. The other thing they don't show in here, but they talk about it, is there's a basement that's rented for $850. I don't know if there's a separate entrance, but what I do know is if you're going to, by the way, that looks weird. There's nothing underneath it. It's just a top cabinet. I don't know about that. But right away, you deal with one issue for sure that you're going to have to contend with, even as far as legality in future, having that basement apartment be legal. But I know it's not, because there's no driveway parking. You've got single car lane here. So if you've got a tenant there, are you going to switch cars every time? It doesn't make any sense. So I definitely think this is more of an in-law suite than it would be a place where you'd want to rent to a stranger. Now, shout outs to the agent on Kasserine, who obviously remembered lessons from geometry. Parallelogram shaped lot. I haven't ever seen that before. Most agents would call it irregular, which, if I've said this many times, if you have an irregular friend, you don't want to hang around with them. Anyway, this one here is a Quincy corner, 1878 square feet. We just saw one of these with a basement apartment listed for $799, sell within a day or two. So $814 without the basement being done might be a little bit high, but there is a unique thing here, and I always try and stress this because I know there's people that look for it. Accessibility. So you got a driveway flat into the walkway here. Now, if you look on the side, you've still got stairs up. There may be something in from the garage, but I think you know where I'm going with this, is that they have created, this is the living dining room right here. And you can see there's a special bed here. There's some equipment to help out. And then you have a shower that is set up for mobility. That's what I'm looking for, is people who have a tough time with mobility. So wheelchair accessible. There's got to be, so just over here behind the stairs is the entrance from the garage. And I have a feeling, even though they haven't photographed it, that there'd be some kind of a ramp. They talk about it in the description, about how it can stay or be removed if you look in the broker's comments. And you get a wider lot here. So that could be a benefit. I still think that given what else has been selling, they might be aiming a little bit high. Next up, Lord Simcoe, Dorset Park. Has all the stuff that you want in Dorset Park. $824,900. The house is a little bit smaller. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom, but you got a double car garage. You get a nice finished basement, great finishes. Not often am I a big fan of twilight shots, but they did a very nice job here. But here's the thing. Some photographers will take twilight here, then they won't do the regular shots. They also did daytime. That's 2 visits from a photographer, and that is extra special care. So you can see inside. Looks great. Top-notch finishes. And you've only got one full bathroom. If there's one thing I can poke holes in, it would be that. But you've got good sized windows in the basement, lots of privacy in the backyard, and a very, very nice setup. Now, Chambers also relisted. We put it in the list. The agent has increased the compensation. I think there's a few new photos. The price is pretty similar to where it was. And it is one of the best backyards for sale out there right now. The pool barely makes a dent in this backyard. That's how big it is. And Chambers is a very quiet street. If you don't live on Chambers and you're not visiting a friend, there's no reason to ever drive on the street. So it's super, super quiet. And the home is 31 square feet plus a finished basement. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions, if you want to go see anything in this list, reach out to us and we're here to help you. Have a great day.